This is the DeskCycle under-desk bike pedal exerciser, the adjustable height version. My first reaction when I pulled it out was, wow, this thing feels legit. It's heavier than I expected, solid steel with a smooth finish and a low profile that actually sits under my desk without looking like gym equipment. I had a mix of curiosity and doubt. Could I actually pedal while writing emails and not annoy everyone around me? Short answer, yes, with a few setup tweaks. Key features that stood out to me right away were the silent magnetic resistance, the very smooth pedal stroke, and the surprisingly wide range of difficulty. If you're new to this, magnetic resistance means there are magnets creating tension against the flywheel without rubbing parts together, so you don't get that scraping noise. The flywheel is hefty for such a compact unit, and that weight keeps the motion fluid, not jerky. It genuinely feels closer to a recumbent bike than a flimsy mini exerciser. There are 8 resistance levels controlled by a simple dial. Level 1 feels like gentle movement you can keep up for hours. Turn it up to the top end and it moves into short, sweaty session territory. From my experience, the quiet factor is real. While I'm typing, the sound blends into the room. On video calls though, my mic sometimes picked up a low hum when I pushed the resistance. It wasn't loud in the room, but it showed up in the audio. If you take high-stakes calls, it's something to keep in mind. For solo work or casual calls, I barely notice it. The footprint is bigger than the photos suggest. It stretches out in front of your chair more than you'd think, around 2 feet long, and the width gives it a planted feel. It weighs about 23 pounds, which is great for stability, but a little awkward to move because there's no handle. I wouldn't want to lug it between rooms every day. I set a spot for it and mostly leave it there. Ergonomics took a little trial and error. My desk is about 29 inches high, and I'm 5'11". I had to lower my chair a notch to keep my knees from tapping the underside of the desk. The pedal height is adjustable to help with clearance, and I set it to the lower option to keep things safe. I'd say a 27-inch desk is the absolute minimum to make this work comfortably. If you're taller or your desk is fixed and low, be prepared to play with your chair height or consider an adjustable desk. On hardwood, it tended to creep forward when I cranked up the resistance. The included Velcro strap that tethers to the chair helps a lot, and a basic non-slip mat under the unit makes a big difference. Without that, my wheeled chair wanted to roll backward when I got into a rhythm. With the tether, it all felt locked in. The included display is simple and useful enough. It shows RPM, time, distance, and calories. RPM just means how fast you're turning the pedals per minute. You can pop the display out and place it on your desk with the extension cable, which is a thoughtful touch. The calorie tracking is the weak link here. In my opinion, it's best to treat it as motivation, not measurement. If accurate stats matter, use a heart rate device or a fitness watch. There's no Bluetooth or app connection, and honestly, I didn't miss it after a couple days. Less fiddling, more pedaling. How it fits into my day has been the biggest win. On low resistance, I can pedal while answering emails, reading docs, or sorting out my to-do list without losing focus. It actually helps me channel restless energy in a productive way. When I dial up the resistance to make it a short workout, I usually pause the heavy cognitive tasks. Around level 4, I can still work, but I start to notice the mental effort. Around level 7 or 8, it turns into a quick sweat session while watching a video. That flexibility is the sweet spot for me. Background motion during work, then a few hard minutes here and there when I want to boost. The build quality feels premium. The motion is consistently smooth, no skipping or choppy pushes, and it stays quiet. The straps on the pedals are simple Velcro but generous enough for different shoes. Getting in and out is easy without bending down, which is nice for long days. If your feet are very wide, the pedal surface might feel a little small, but I didn't have trouble with regular sneakers. It's perfect for anyone trying to sit less without rearranging their entire schedule. I noticed better focus in the mid-afternoon, and I was less antsy on long calls when I kept the resistance low. Over a few weeks, my legs felt stronger, especially in the quads and hamstrings, and I picked up a small but meaningful bump in daily calorie burn. It's not a substitute for a full workout, but as a movement boost during a sit-heavy day, it's excellent. In my opinion, the biggest trade-off is the very thing that makes it great. The weight and steel frame give it that smooth, stable ride, but they also make it less convenient to move. If you plan to switch it between rooms many times a day, you'll notice the lack of a carry handle. Also, the desk clearance requirement is real. Make sure your setup can accommodate it. If your knees hit the desk, you'll get frustrated fast. Set aside 10 minutes to adjust your chair height, pedal height, and the unit position on the floor. Once you find your sweet spot, it just works. From my experience, the DeskCycle shines as a movement supplement. It helps me replace passive sitting with gentle activity that I can keep up for long stretches. If I want a short burn, I crank the dial and take a quick break. The tech is minimal, the learning curve is short, and the maintenance is basically non-existent. I'd recommend this for people who work from home or sit at a desk most of the day. Folks easing back into exercise or doing low-impact rehab, seniors who want safe leg movement without balance risks, and students or gamers who spend hours seated and want a simple way to stay active. If you need all-out, high-intensity training or full app integration, this won't check those boxes. If your desk is under 27 inches or you're very tall with a fixed setup, measure first and consider a riser or an adjustable desk. Key features you should keep in mind: quiet magnetic resistance, a genuinely smooth pedal feel thanks to a heavy flywheel, a wide resistance range from casual motion to a challenging push, a simple display that's easy to place on your desk, and a sturdy build that feels built to last. The downsides are the awkward portability, the lack of smart tracking, the iffy calorie numbers, and some floor creep on smooth surfaces unless you use the tether or a mat. In conclusion, the DeskCycle delivers a high-quality under-desk ride that actually fits into real life. It helps me move more without thinking about it and gives me a quick cardio bump when I want it. It asks for a little patience with setup, but the payoff is steady, quiet movement baked into your day. If you value smoothness, silence, and durability over fancy software, this model is a strong choice. If this video helped, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own tips in the comments. Thank you for watching.